few introductions are in order. I'm sure there will be people in the audience that know us and know of our surveying activities, but there will be other people here that don't know us. So, who are we? Who are GandJSurveys? Well, we comprise three people. There's Greg Jackson, John Barnard, and myself, Myrddyn Phillips. We all have a keen interest in hill walking as well as upland topography. John and Graham are members of the Monroe Society, whilst I am an honorary lifetime member of the Snowdonia Society. Now, together we've been surveying hills for 4 or 5 years, hills and mountains throughout Britain. Our surveying activities have stemmed out of the need for accuracy within the database of British hills. Now you can see 2 website addresses on the screen that you can access the database via the internet. It has details of over 6,500 hills, and it's probably the best of its kind on the, available on the internet today. So that's just a little bit about us and a little bit about our surveying activities. So, why are we here? Well, we're here because of one mountain, and that mountain is Glyder Fawr. And we're here specifically because of its current map height. And that current map height is 999 metres. Now, that map height was ascertained using a surveying method that has a margin of uncertainty associated with it. And that margin of uncertainty is approximately plus or minus 3 metres. Now, the surveying equipment that we possess to measure for absolute height, that is the Leica 530, it's on display at the front here. That is a service-grade GPS system, and its capabilities for accuracy are to within plus or minus 5 centimetres. So it's about that much, a couple of inches either way, so it is very, very accurate. Now, we're pleased to have with us today one of the country's leading authorities on GPS technology, and that is Mark Greaves, representing the Ordnance Survey. And I'm sure Mark, or hopefully I'm sure Mark, will go into a little bit of detail comparing the accuracies between those 2 survey methods. The one that attained the current map height and comparing it to something like a service-grade GPS system. Now, if we go back to that current map height of 999 metres, that is ever so close to one of those important benchmark heights associated with British mountains. And that benchmark height is 1,000 metres. Now, just for a moment, I'd like you to think of all the land in Britain outside of Scotland. And that is the whole of Wales, the whole of Northern Ireland, and the whole of England. That's a large area of land. And currently, there are only 4 mountains that exceed 1,000 metres. They are a rarity. And because of that, we've coined the phrase for them super mountains, because that is indeed what they are. They are the true giants of the British upland. Now, for those who work, live, and do their hill walking in Wales, we're more than lucky because those 4 current 1,000 metre super mountains are all based in Wales. Now, as you can see on the screen, it has where Glyder Fawr is in relation to those 4 other mountains. Now, the relevance of why we are here today in Myrddyn, in the heartland of Eryri, Snowdonia, is that, as you can see, all of those mountains are in the northwest of Wales. They are all within the confines of the Snowdonia National Park. So let's look at those mountains in a little bit more detail. I'm sure everybody here today will know the highest mountain in the land, the highest mountain in Wales, and that is over Snowdon, and it's 1,085 metres high. The second highest mountain in Wales is Clwyd-y-Ddysgol, otherwise known by its summit name of Carnedd-y-Gain. That is 1,065 metres high. The third highest is Carnedd-y-Llywelyn, and that is 1,064 metres high. And the fourth highest mountain is 1,044 metres high, and that is Carnedd-y-Dafydd. But what about Glyder Fawr? Is Glyder Fawr the 5th 1,000 metre super mountain that we have here in Wales? Well, I'm sure many people here would have been to the summit. You know that the summit area of Glyder Fawr is crowned by 2 distinct summit shores. This photograph is taken from Glyder Fawr, looking past Castell y Gwynt on the foreground in the left. And you can see those 2 summit shores in the background on the right-hand side. Well, when we view those summit shores closer up, The one that is in the foreground on this photograph, that is positioned northwestward, and that is the summit tor that is closer to the Ogwen Valley, as well as being slightly closer to Agarn, as well as Glyder Fawr. The southeasterly summit tor is positioned in the background in this photograph, the centre background of the Snowdon Hall should be on. And that summit tor is closer to Plas, as well as being slightly closer to Myrddyn Phillips. Now, when we went to resurvey Glyder Fawr, myself, Graham and John, the first thing we had to do was work out which of those two summit tors is the higher. We did that with the aid of an ABNY level in conjunction with using a surveyor's staff. And the most northwesterly summit tor proved to be 1.45 metres higher when compared to the southeasterly summit tor. However, as you can see from this photograph, that higher summit tor is almost split in two. It comprises two elongated rock spires. And the next thing we had to work out was which of those two rock spires is the higher. And again, using an ABNY level, we found that it's conveniently marked as summit position on the screen. We found the slightly more westward of those two elongated rock spires, the one closer to Agarn, is in fact the very highest point of the mountain. But it is ever so close. It's approximately 2 millimetres higher than the other rock spire. Very, very close, but it is just higher. So what do we do next? Well, we worked out the highest point of the mountain. The next thing is we have to align the base of the antennae dish to the very highest point of Glyder Fawr. And John is doing that with the aid of an ABNY level. We then securely strap the equipment in place. And we leave it there. We switch it on and leave it there to gather data. And for Glyder Fawr, we gathered just over 4 hours of summit data. And that is plenty of time to take the customary summit photograph. You have John and Graham either side of the light at 5:30. Kate and Pete Williams in the foreground. Kate is here to speak at the press conference a little later, representing the organising committee of the Glyder Club. Also joining us on the day was Stephen Edwards, representing Cread. Stephen is here today. He's the guy over there, and he and Emma both appeared on the interview for Radio Cymru first thing this morning. And also joining us on the day was the assistant editor of TGO magazine, and that is Kerry Davis. Kerry joined us to find out about our surveying activities and also to concentrate upon our resurvey of Glyder Fawr. The intention being to write an article for publication within TGO magazine, and that is due out in the next issue also. So anybody interested in finding out a bit more detail about the resurvey, please go and hunt out a copy of TGO. But what about Glyder Fawr? Does Glyder Fawr exceed 1,000 metres? Well, I'd like to take you back to something I said before, and that is just to consider all the land in Britain outside of Scotland. And that is the whole of Wales, Northern Ireland and England. It's a huge tract of land. And then amongst that land, there are currently only 4 mountains that exceed 1,000 metres. Is Glyder Fawr the fifth 1,000 metre super mountain? Well, let's see. Yes, it is. The accurate, definitive height of Glyder Fawr is 1,000.8 metres. And in surveying terms, that is significantly higher than that magical benchmark height of 1,000 metres. And I believe Mark is going to speak next, and I'm sure Mark will go into a little bit of detail concerning what the Ordnance Survey now plan to do with that official height with future publications. Well, that's our part of the press conference over with, so I can wipe the sweat from my brow now. And many thanks for listening. Dear from our own, and I'll hand it back to our chairman, Emma.